So,
All right. Mm-hmm.
what's up, y'all? It's another
What's up,
episode of
bro?
Bonafide Her Podcast featuring the one and only Charles Foote.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, we blessed to be alive. It's lit. I gotta get all my athlete con peoples here because we in here. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
And I see you representing for UNC Charlotte, so you better let them know what it is.
Yep. Picks up all the time. Go Niners, baby.
Hey, so let's get it started. So Charles, can you let the viewers know where you got to where you are in your sports story?
So my sports story is a little bit different than what most people would go through. I actually started out. I was a basketball player originally. I started playing basketball in like probably second grade, and basketball was just my first love. I know I was always tall, so just came easy to me. Like just jump up, grab the rebound. Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, he's so good!" And so I played it all up through high school. But in seventh grade, I played football for a year, and I had a pretty bad injury. And my mom was like, "Hey, instead of playing football, I think you should try something else. Let's try out cross country." And I'm like, Mom, I don't know if I want to just run all the time. And she's like, "Well, you don't have a choice, so you're gonna start running." And so I ran cross country, and that kind of became a thing where I ran cross country to get in shape for basketball. And then in the springtime, I would run track and do AAU basketball to get better to just become more athletic and more coordinated with basketball. And um, I eventually kind of like the pandemic hit, and basketball was just a lot harder to do because it's an inside sport. And I started to lose love with the sport. I mean, I enjoyed playing it because all my friends, we did it. We all played together our whole lives. But my senior year, I just had it. I was like, I can't do basketball anymore. But there's a small school in my hometown. I'm from Richmondville, New York. SUNY Cobleskill reached out to me. You can actually probably see the banners up behind me right there. Um, they reached out to me and they're like, "Hey, we have an opportunity for you. We want you to play basketball and run track for us." I'm like, "Okay, great. Actually, I think that I can do that. That'd be pretty cool." And it's like when I first got there, immediately like I was just like, "I'm not playing basketball. There's no way. This is too much." Um, so for the first time ever, I wasn't playing basketball. Like brand new to indoor track. My first time ever running my freshman year of college, and I just struggled. I mean, I had never run indoors. I didn't know how to breathe. Like the track was shorter. I was just constantly screwing things up. So come outdoor season, my coach was like, "Hey, you want to give the hurdles a shot?" And I'm like, "Why not, coach? That'd actually be pretty cool. I've never hurdled before, so let's see how this goes." Um, didn't go well. Not at all. The first race, I got to the second hurdle, just absolutely ate it. And my coach was like, "Yeah, we might have to pull the plug. I don't want to injure you because like that was really scary to watch." So I'm like, "All right, you know what? Maybe next year." Uh, so next year came around. I'm like, "Coach, like I'm really gonna lock in with the hurdles this year. Like I really want to do that. I enjoyed it a lot last year, even though I fell." And he was like, "All right, we'll see what we can do. Let's work on it." So I worked on it, and it actually ended up paying off. I actually ran like a 54.6 for my last meet of the season, and I'm like, "Coach, I think I want to transfer. I want more for myself. I think that my times my ceiling is high. I think I can do more, and I want more, and I want a different competition. I want a different perspective in life. I mean, I've been in this town my whole life." He's like, "Yeah, I get it, dude. Let's see what we can do for you." So I entered the transfer portal, and I waited and waited and waited, and expecting things to come in, and I was pretty naive. I just didn't realize that when you enter the transfer portal, if you're not the best of the best, no one's going to recruit you. And so like I started emailing coaches like midsummer, and I didn't hear back from anyone. I was kind of freaking out, like yeah, I guess I'm just going to go back to Cobleskill and do more. The end of the summer, the track coach at UNC Charlotte, he actually gave me a call. He was like, "Hey, dude, how's it going? We got a spot for you if you want it." And I'm like, "Coach, I'm on my way." Um, And the rest is history after that. I mean, like I packed up my car and my mom's like, "Where are you going to stay?" I'm like, "In my car." I don't know. Like this is my opportunity, Mom. I want more for myself. So if I have to sleep in my car for a week, she's like, "You're not doing that. There's no way." I'm like, "Yeah, Mom, I'm going to figure it out." And she's like, "Okay." It's like we ended up figuring it out and here I am.
Hey, man, it's so crazy. So like the school that you went to was a D3.
Yes.
So I've it's crazy because I've heard like stories, like I've heard stories where people who were basketball players would end up switching to like a track and field event. So like
Mhm.
I know, say Jocelyn, who was at the athlete con, she was actually a basketball player and
Mhm.
she switched to throwing. And it's
Mhm.
like, wow, like this is, I'm not gonna say it's unheard of, but now I'm hearing more of this. So like for you, you really love basketball and you played it for the long time. What was the click? What was that clicking moment where you're like, I'm really all in for track. Like this is where I'm gonna go. This is the more opportunity I see for myself.
Mhm. I think I think it was when a lot of my teammates stepped away from the sport because that when they started getting replaced with different people that I mean I'd played with before, I knew who they were, but when they got replaced with different people, I'm like, this sport is heavily dependent on how everybody else plays. It's not just me. I can do everything, but still not get any return because if I'm the best player on a team that's not so great, then I'm gonna get attention. Obviously, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, he's averaging 50 points a game." But I don't want to average 50 points a game. I want to enjoy the sport. I want to play with my teammates and win games and have fun. So it just, I guess, it was a lot on my body, and because my senior year I got concussed, and I think after I got concussed, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. It's like I had headaches for weeks after that. I had a stutter because I just couldn't think. So it's like this is it, coach. I'm sorry. I'm not doing any more than that.
Man, concussions from basketball is no joke. I swear for gosh. I was like,
Hmm.
there's times like, and I played it, so I'm with you on that. like concussions, like it's like there's times like I pray it don't damage my brain because I
Hmm.
like my mind a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can't do the sport forever. It's like I think this up here, you're always gonna have this. You're never gonna be able to shoot hoops when you're 75 years old. I mean, the ball's just never gonna go in the basket. So I'd rather be able to think straight and have a good time with my family and my grandkids than played basketball for a couple more years.
Man, that is a great point. I swear for gosh, I ain't never heard something like that. I was like, and then you said that was the straw that break the camel's. I ain't heard that phrase in so long. I ain't gonna lie. It's like, dang,
Hmm.
man, it's like that was like the last straw. It's like, man.
Yeah.
So my question for you is, with track and field and hurdles, like what would you say is like some of the misconceptions when it comes to the hurdles, but also the misconception when it comes to mid-major competition?
Hmm. I think a big misconception with hurdles is that it's really hard. It's not. It's very technical and it is very scary, but I wouldn't say it's hard. Because when you approach it with that perspective, you set yourself back because you're like, oh, it's hard. I could never do that. Well, yeah, you can do that. You just got to believe in yourself and you got to put in the time and the work. Once you do that, the possibilities are endless. Um, I think another common misconception with mid-major competition is that it's not as great. Like a lot of people think, oh, if you're not Power Five, you're really not that great an athlete. I've been personally burned by athletes at every single level. Um, Mid-major is unbelievable. There's some guys actually. Last year, there's a guy who went to South Florida. His name is Abdul Rashid Samino. He he ran the number one time in the world, and I'm sitting here like we have to run against this guy in a couple of months. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, we have guys going to the Olympics from mid majors. So, um, I think that it doesn't matter. I think a misconception is that you have to be Power Five to be great, and that's just not true at all.
Man, because I will say, like Okay, so last year, like last track season, I will
Hmm.
say that was my first ever watching a track and field at all. It was my first ever. And and I realized, I was like, oh my gosh, two people that I know are on this track and field event, and
Hmm.
it's like two different schools. So I was like, oh, this is a 2-for-1 special for me. So it's like I'm knowing these, but it was so fun. Like,
Hmm.
I've never been to a track and field event games. I was like, this is fun. Like, I wish more people would like enjoy it and come to it, because it's like
Yeah.
there's so many events happening at one time. So it's like you get to see all the behind the scenes and everything. Like, do you hope to see, with track and field, you know, do you hope to see more people actually come to support track and field, especially when there's so much, potential and opportunities for them, especially with the NIL happening?
Hmm. I think that I think that track and field is a great sport for anybody, no matter who you are, because there's gonna be something for you. There's so many different events. I mean, like if you don't like running, become a jumper. If you don't like jumping, you can throw. There's pole vault. That's a scary one, but that's a really cool event to watch. Um, I think that track as a whole should get more attention than it does, but it's not a contact sport. I mean, you're not going to see someone get dunked on, or you're not going to see somebody get lit up on the football field. But I think that there's very high energy for watching people push themselves to their absolute limit. As far as NIL goes, I think there's a lot of opportunities. There's not as much money in the sport because obviously, like to get into meets is free. It's not a revenue sport, so I wish that there was more for people in terms of scholarship. Like I'm a walk on athlete. I'm paying to go to college. A lot of people don't know that about me. Um, it's like I hope that someday track and field gets to the point where everyone can get a scholarship and everyone can enjoy their sport. But I think either way, it's a great sport to watch, and I hope that eventually the sport does grow a little bit more.
I would have never guessed you were walk on until like what you told me. I was like, and
Hmm.
then it's so. Can you explain like what would you say is the misconceptions of like being a walk on athlete? Because there's so many, I feel like, but from your personal experience, what would you say are some of the misconceptions of being a walk on athlete?
I think there's two common misconceptions. Oh my gosh, misconceptions. One of them isn't necessarily coming from being a walk on. It's that every D1 athlete gets money. Uh, Me personally, in high school, I thought that going D1 automatically meant you got your college paid for. Um, that's not true. That's not true at all. But I think another misconception is that walk-ons are not necessarily as good of athletes, which is also not true because there's a lot of schools out there that don't give track scholarships at all. Um, and that means that every single athlete on that team is technically a walk-on. There's guys that are running national qualifying times that aren't on scholarships. So I think that people just assume they make assumptions based off of your scholarship status, and I think that needs to change.
For sure, because I would have never. I thought like when somebody gets a track and field, like on they get offered, but I would have never guessed like say there's actual walk-ons because like whoa,
Hmm.
like they actually have to pay for school and like not only that, juggling with everything like that's it is almost like a lot of pressure and a lot of stuff on your shoulder that you have to like
Hmm.
balance out. So but my question for you is, so I see you as an advocate of women's sports, especially like with everything, but my question for you is, what inspired you to be an advocate for women's sports?
I actually have a sister, and she was a volleyball player. And obviously, my sister and I go back and forth. Oh, I'm a better athlete than you. I'm smarter than you. Blah blah blah. But I hate seeing that women's sports get trashed on a lot. Um, I don't think it's fair. They're very new. Like hell, I think the WNBA has been around for what, like 20 some years now.
20
Uh,
years coming up.
yeah, and that's very new compared to every other league. I mean, the NFL has been around for well over 100 years now. So, and the Super Bowl era is 56, 57 years old. Like, that's still double the amount of time that the WNBA has been around. And it's, I think that when you look at equal opportunity, to say, oh, well, they're not as athletic as us, or the women can't dunk a basketball. That's just not fair at all. There's good qualities to the game. It's played very differently. It's a lot more technical of a game. So it's not as sports, like, especially volleyball is better than men's sports. Like, they play it in such a graceful way that to say, oh, well, they're not gonna punch each other in the face. Why does that matter? Why does that matter? So I think that I want everyone to have an opportunity to, because if you work for it, you deserve it.
For sure. I've never heard somebody say they play with grace. It's like, oh yeah, we play with grace.
I know a lot of my teammates they run like prettier. I don't know. I'm a very like technical person. Like, I like the girls on my team basically all look better than me when they run. So
It's like it's interesting that you mentioned, like, because I was like, oh, like, yeah, because it's mentioned like WNBA is coming up in their 28th through 29th and then 2027, yeah, 30 years. So like with that, and then like you said, Super Bowl is like football has been there for over 100 years. Super Bowl kind of like in their 50s, close to 60 years. So like the shift for some of the women's sports, it's like you see how grown it has gone versus like some of the men's, like say some of the men's like sports events is like kind of like almost stagnant but kind of decreased. Like example, like I don't know if you watch softball, College World Series softball, like almost every year is like it's increased versus College World Baseball. It's like or the NCAA for the men's basketball or the women's basketball. You see like the skyrocketing. It's like, oh, well, finally everyone's watching women's sports. We try to tell you how amazing it is.
I think especially with these last couple of years with women's basketball, I mean, you've had phenomenal basketball players come through. Caitlin Clark, Cameron Brink, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers. Like, they're amazing basketball players. So I think a couple of times I think it's a fun sport to watch. But I can't speak to it because I've never watched it.
You
So
should watch it. Like I promise you, it's fun and it's faster than the baseball. I'm just saying, it's intense.
a lot of people probably would never guess this, but I actually love watching lacrosse.
Really?
Yeah, lacrosse and soccer are actually two of my favorite sports to watch.
See, women's soccer be lit too. Like, and like I just noticed for the past couple of years too, though, for the women's soccer, the viewership has gone up like crazy. So
I
now
remember.
I see what I was saying.
I was sitting. I remember she's sitting in the barber shop. So I remember watching a score goal. I want to say we're playing against Brazil. I don't remember the team we're playing against. I just remember watching a score goal and the other team going in a panic mode. I'm like, we got it. We got it.
Oh yeah, like the USA women's soccer is like legit. Now I wish they would got paid more than the men's. I was going to say low key, but high key, because if you look at how many wins and gold medals and everything they got versus say the men's,
they're a very winning team. They're a very winning team.
So, but do you hope to see like say more? Do you hope to see more people kind of really support and actually take the time to watch women's sports?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they deserve a fair shot. And we haven't given that to them yet.
For sure. And for those that don't know, when I tell you, so of course we Sam Green for Athlete Con. That was the most like lit place, lit event. Every college athlete should check it out. Even the rooftop party was lit because I felt like, you know, that audio where Tiffany Haddish like, "Woo, this is nice, girl." That's how I felt about the rooftop.
Yeah, Sam's my goat.
I
love Sam. Sam is the whole reason that I'm here today. Sam, if I never connected with Sam, she actually came to Charlotte when I started content creation. In my brain, I always felt like, oh, I'm only an okay athlete. I'm never gonna get attention. I'm not a scholarship athlete. No one's gonna care. I'm not a national athlete. No one's gonna care. And Sam came and she's like, athlete you are. Just start doing it and things will work out. And I'm like, okay, let's see what happens then.
Man, like she is the go for that. Like she said, she is that go to an athlete, like for real. Like, but my question for you is, you know, what was it like for you to be able to be part of AthleteCon 2.0 and as well as have someone like Sam advocate for the NIL athletes?
I think that it's a breath of fresh air because a lot of people don't like NIL. So to see Sam doing what Sam is doing to help athletes achieve their goals with NIL and content creation, and just above, like, oh, athletes don't get the college athletes, they shouldn't be getting paid to play. They're not professional. Why are they getting paid? And Sam's like, take matters into your own hands. Don't listen to them. And I really appreciate that. I like the go-getter attitude for sure. And AthleteCon too, I think that was one of the best experiences I've ever had. Like growing up, I used to go to church and back home, and you're like, man, it's back to reality again. And that was exactly what happened to me. I went to AthleteCon, and I'm like, this is the best thing that has ever happened to me. I went back home, and I'm like, man, I wish I could go back to that again.
Man, this is wow. And then it's like, oh man, I'm back to, like you said, back to reality. It's like, man, like, what do I do now? Like I miss people already. The folks like, can it just be extended a little bit more? So, but you know, it was interesting, like to see like all the brands and the NIL athletes be able to connect with one another, as well as just seeing all the content like that was being made, like since day one. Just like, yo, this is interesting. And I was like, oh, they having fun. They having the time of their life.
Yeah, there's a lot of really funny content, a lot of really fun people. So I would highly would recommend that to anybody that's an athlete that just wants to get into NIL, whether they're experienced with it or they're just starting out.
Do you hope and plan to go to AthleteCon 3.0?
Well, I want to go to AthleteCon 3.0, but I also want to go to the national meet for track. So if I make the national meet, which is a really far-fetched goal, but it's possible, if I make the national meet, I won't be going to AthleteCon. So I'm hoping that I'm not going to AthleteCon because I'm going to the national meet, but I would ideally like to be going to AthleteCon. So like I kind of have conflicting interests.
It's like a catch-22.
Yeah. Either way, I'm going to enjoy it. But one is I can come back to AthleteCon as potentially a storyteller later on or a brand. Or I could be going to the national meet for my last season of track and field ever. So,
It's like now I see the catch-22. It's like,
yep.
oh well. But my question for you is like, for you as an athlete, and just, juggling with books and, track and content creation, how are you able to balance all that in your everyday life?
Truth is, I don't. Uh, it kind of just comes whenever I can get content done, I get content done. Whenever I do schoolwork. I'm always tired. Uh, but when you're chasing your dreams, you got to make sacrifices. So I'm gonna have to figure it out eventually. But I don't know. Right now, it's just kind of like you just get it done. There's not necessarily balance in my life. I wish there was, but you know, I'm happy. So
It's like you just wing it at times. Like,
yeah, a lot of the time it's winged. Especially like when I post the 400-meter files on Sunday. I'm so busy throughout the week that I film throughout the week, and then on Sunday I go to edit it, and I sit down and edit it, and it'll take me 5 hours to edit those videos. I hope I get this done in the next 20 minutes. Oh wait, you also still have a homework assignment to do too, so you better get that done. Um, so it's tough. It's tough, but I have viewers that obviously want to keep up on my life a little bit and know what's going on. I want to tell my story, but studies come too. So
what inspired you to start the 400 meters files?
I just wanted to tell my story because I feel like I can put out a 6-second video where people laugh at it and have a fun time, or I can put out some content about how to get better at track, but core, and how I got to where I am. And I want to inspire people to also realize that you can do it too. Like I was a small town kid. I was always told, no, you're never gonna go D1. You're not athletic enough, or you're not tall enough, or you're not strong enough. And I want people to know that no matter how you get there, or no matter what you do, it doesn't matter how you get there. If you keep pushing, you keep working for it, eventually you will get there.
That's real. That's real. Because, and it leads to my question, because I always say that athletes are human. I provide a safe space for all the athletes to let them know how appreciated they are, where they're seen and heard. And my question is, as a man and an athlete, how important is mental health to you?
Very important. It's very important. I know a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I don't want to go to therapy. I don't want to go to therapy because I don't want to be seen as somebody who like needs help all the time." And I'm the exact opposite. I'm like, dude, just go to therapy. Like your mental health, you'll thank me later. Get a journal, start meditating, just go to bed earlier, get off social media. Ironic that I'm saying that because like I'm chronically on social media. Like I have to be on it all the time. I think that mental health is extremely important for anybody. But I think it's a lot more ignored when it's a man because men are expected to be stronger and you're expected to not cry and you're expected to just get it done. But I think that stressed out, I want to step out of the room. I have anxiety. I don't voice that a lot to people. It's like I'm afraid of being judged by it. But I personally like. There's times when people are like, "Are you good, dude?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." I'm like, I'm having a rough day. If you see me cry, I'm gonna cry. Like, life happens, but you gotta push yourself first. You can't just ignore it.
I literally made a whole argument story about like, I always ask my guests about this, but I always wanted to hear, like, listen to a male athlete input, like, really, like, how important is mental health to you guys for the male athletes? Because, like you said, like, it's not heard enough from the male athletes
Mm-hmm.
aspect, because like you said, they're taught to be strong, they're taught not to be cry. And like I always think to myself, like I'm pretty sure a lot of people that they're very spiritual, like they read their Bible, the strongest man in the world wept, and it literally said Jesus wept.
Yep.
And but because I always say, I was like, man, I wish people would understand, like men got feelings too. Like I care about a man's like mental
Mm-hmm.
health. Like if that don't if you just take the time to ask a man, hey, how are you mentally, or hey, you good, you okay? I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure they're gonna really appreciate a lot more that you like. Because I don't know about I don't. It's like when's the last? I always wonder, like when's the last time they asked a male athlete or a man, how are they doing like mentally?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. I think a lot of the time when I ask my friends how they're doing and how they're feeling, I'm not asking them how they feel physically. I want to know how they're doing emotionally, because I know personally I suppress my emotions sometimes and I regret it almost every single time. I don't want to see my friends suppress their emotions to the point where they might end up in a hospital or potentially dead because they decided that they can't have emotions and they can't share their emotions. I think it's important to ask people how they are, or to say hi to somebody every day, just get to know them a little bit more. You never know what somebody else is going through, because people are very good at hiding their emotions because that's what they're taught to do.
for real. I just saw the little mic thing. I was like, oh, that's the same way for me. It's like my
I know,
mic.
I keep pulling on my headphone cord and it keeps pulling the microphone down.
Hey, it's all good. I always say my podcast is raw and real. It bloopers sometimes stuff like I'm like, this is
Hmm.
why it's amazing, because it's raw and real. It be like this. So
Hmm.
like we just showing the human side. We
I
we don't
know.
know.
Yeah, I fell out of my chair actually like right before I got on the call, so that would have been a really funny blooper.
Hey, I always it's crazy because like there's blooper moments, like I stutter at times, like oh man, I just messed up, a fumble the word. Oh
Hmm.
man, like that's the beauty of this
Hmm.
podcast.
So it makes you human.
Exactly. So my question for you is, especially on the, for the men's mental health aspect, I'm pretty sure you've probably heard about the whole Kyron Lacey situation that's been happening,
Hmm.
with his situation. And, do you feel like, with the awareness of what happened to him, especially when it comes to mental health, men's mental health, do you feel like it brought a lot more light to how important a college athlete's mental health is, as well as a men's mental health?
I think it's opening a door to something that needs to be talked about more. Um, I still think that it's going to get kicked to the curb a little bit because it's men's mental health. I think that it's not the most of people's concerns, and I think that it's definitely a good conversation starter. Um, I just don't know how far to really go, because I mean, little hinges swing big doors, obviously. But I think in the current moment, there's a lot of stuff going on where people are going to be like, "Oh, well, this comes first. That this needs to happen first. We have to do this first." And then eventually down the line, it'll start to come up a little bit more, a little bit more, and then that big door will start to swing.
That's right. I've never heard of that phrase, that little hinge to make the door swing.
Hmm.
I've never heard of that before. I'm learning something new right now from you. I was like, I've never heard of these things, but this is
Hmm.
new. So you're going to have to teach me some of this, because this is new, but I'm here for it. So,
Hmm.
but I just, like, you know, if I just wish there was, I just wish more people would understand how real athletes' mental health is, because like you try waking up at 5 in the morning to do workouts,
Hmm.
and then probably don't go home till like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
no, the days are long. The days are really long.
because I be like, man, y'all like, if y'all understood how much the hardest, like they live, college athletes are literally the hardest working people
Hmm.
for real. Like what they do is a job.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yep.
mean, get like pay these players now. Just pay them.
Yep.
So my question for you is, If there was a phrase or word to describe your journey so far for you, what would it be?
Uh, there's a few of them. Uh, my favorite saying is, "You miss 100% of the shots you never take," because you don't know where your life is going to take you until you start. The seed never grew from staying under the ground and being protected from the elements. And I think that you regret not trying more than you will trying and failing, because at least you figured out that maybe this isn't for you, or this is maybe not the right approach, or then you come back a little bit stronger and a little bit better, and you understand yourself a little bit more. So I think you miss 100% of the shots you never take would probably be my my saying that I live by. But at the same time, chase your dreams is also one of my favorite things too, because that's what I've been doing. So
Like a dream chaser right there. It's like,
yeah, yeah.
so would you, what advice would you give to those that may be looking up to you, but like trying to figure out what's the best way to like get to where you are?
Just keep trying. You're you can't. I I think that you think I'm still at the bottom of the hill. I'm climbing the mountain still. I think that even to get to where I am, you just have to try. You just have to do. You just have to get out and you just have to hustle. You have to grind. You have to shoot your shot. Um, a lot of people come to me and they're like, how do I get started yet?" You got to start first, and you got to push yourself past your limits. You got to understand yourself, and then you have to reach out to the coaches, and you have to show that you're dedicated to the craft. Um, Everything is earned. Nothing is given to you. I know my teammates, they worked really, really hard for their spots on the team. No one was just handed the spot. So just keep pushing. Just start. You don't obviously, like, not everyone's gonna get this because not everyone's shot a gun before. But when you shoot a target and you miss the target, shoot it again. Just keep shooting. Just keep looking for that target, and it will come. You'll hit it eventually.
When you say keep shooting, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep shooting the ball because, yeah, like, especially when it's like one of those moments like where you like, oh, that's such a nice shot, and then it's missed. God darn it! Like,
Yeah,
people say keep shooting. I'm like,
yeah,
yeah,
mhm,
like,
yeah. And that's where I say you just gotta get over it. Just keep doing it. Because yeah, obviously losing sucks, missing shots sucks, but you don't win games by not taking shots. You miss 100% of shots you never take.
that's real. I feel like that's
It's
either
yeah,
Wayne
it was
Gretzky
Wayne Gretzky
or Michael
first, but
Jordan.
then Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan being Michael Jordan, he took it and made it bigger because when you're the greatest basketball player of all time, everyone's gonna listen to
That's
you.
true. That's very true. I mean, it's similar because I was like, wait, I feel like both of them said it, and then he said it, something like that, something similar. It's like, well, he's quoting both goats in their respective sports. So let's just like, he has that mindset of being a goat. So the goat mentality right there. So my question for you is, and I always ask my guests this question because Bonafide means authentic and unique. For the men, is the authenticity. Oh my, was still blessed, but I did my best on pronouncing it. Oh yes, blessed. I got it right. Thank you. Woo, blessed. So my question for you is, what makes Mr. Charles Foote authentic?
I don't necessarily think I'm a standout. I think that there's stories that are more special than mine that are very authentic is that I haven't given up yet. I'm going to keep pushing until I reach my goals. And there's been hard times. There's been times I've fallen down. I've gotten back up. There's mistakes I've made. Being able to push past that and be like, okay, I'm human. That happens. You learn from it. I think that's what makes my story real.
Ooh, you better let them know. Take them to church with it. Wow. Wow. Yep. But I'm going to tell you that, like, every person need to give the men and the male athletes their flowers whenever they see them too. I'm proud of you, first of all. I'm proud of you. Ain't nobody told you. I'm proud of you because, sir, you're doing the darn thing. This is originality at its best. And the fact that you've been, like, very open about your journey, because not a lot of people are kind of open about it, but because you are open about it, like, it takes a lot of real strength about it, but you do it in the most authentic way. Like, that is you, and I just want to let you know I'm proud of you. Keep going, sir, because you're doing amazing. So I'm letting you know that.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me.
Sir, for real, keep going because I'm here for it. So, but can you let the viewers know how?
December, we have a track meet at JDL, North Carolina. It's in Winston. Then my season starts in outdoor, so we'll have a lot of meets come springtime. If you're ever in Charlotte, anyone wants to collab, just hit me up. I'm pretty free on the weekends, especially. And I love to meet new people. So I also, if there's a sports game going on, whether it's football, soccer, volleyball, I'm probably going to be there. So just look out for me.
Y'all heard it from the man here first. Be sure to follow him. Be sure to, if you're trying to collab, he's that person, collab, especially. Hey, and be sure to follow him on all his social medias, just like he said, Charles, on track. You see it. So be sure to follow him. I'm telling you guys, his content is amazing. Like, yes. So, but thank you guys for tuning in to Bonafide Her Podcast, episode 170, featuring Charles Foote. And big shout out to Charles Foote for coming on here to share your story. It's truly amazing and inspiring, for real. And be sure to check out the live replay of Bonafide Her Podcast, episode 170, featuring Charles Foote. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.